Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
Amid events this week marking International Women's Day, we are reminded that girls are denied the same access to education as boys. At the Happy Chandara School in Cambodia, they're trying to change traditional attitudes and break down the gender barrier in school. Let's find out in this report.
In this Cambodian suburb, most families make a living selling jasmine, but they're so poor that many girls are working by the age of 8 years old. Ban Shray Pitch also used to work, but now she goes to the Happy Chandara School.
I
sent her to school because I can't look after her myself. I don't have enough money. She's weak, she's been ill, and I hope that they look after her properly at school.
In Cambodia, around half the population is under 18 years old. The country's intellectuals disappeared during the Khmer Rouge genocide, which claimed 2 million lives. The shortage of teachers means that class numbers are around 50, and schools only teach part-time. There are 580 pupils at the Happy Chandara School, 31 of whom are weekly boarders.
I want to be an interpreter or a doctor.
Many girls here are victims of forced marriage or abuse. Being at school helps because it isn't enough to learn to read and write. Here, lessons are taught in Khmer, French and English. They learn IT, sport, dance, civic education. The school prepares the children to take an active part in the Cambodia of tomorrow.
We think the girls here will become our future lawyers, engineers, doctors, teachers, and serve the country.
At this school, the children eat 3 meals a day, and they have a full healthcare program. Vaccinations, dental checkups. Chandara means the sky and the stars, and was the name of one of the project founders' children.
A chance meeting of 2 women started this school. One of them who gave us the land was Cambodian, and this wonderful meeting was brought about by a little girl, which is why the school is named after her, Happy Chandara, because she was called Chandara.
So that the girls can come to school, the NGO pays their families for the loss of earnings in the fields. This is around 75 cents per day, and includes sacks of rice and sometimes some cooking oil. Every year sees the arrival of 100 new pupils, and next year will see the opening of a new school. Happy Chandara is an example to all the other state schools in the neighbourhood. If we take the level of girls' education as an indicator of a country's freedom and democracy, female education is one of today's biggest challenges.
Inequality in education isn't just a problem in the developing world. There are still imbalances in Western societies. At the Renate Center in Norway, the catwalk has become a platform for girls to take big strides towards a career in science and technology. Let's take a look.
Here in Norway, the Renate Center in Trondheim uses a variety of creative approaches to recruiting girls to study sciences and technology.
Because there's a great lack of girls within these kind of studies and careers. Even though Norway is the country where equality has the best rating in the world, we still have a very traditional selection of educations and careers for girls and boys.
Here, they maintain a list of role models. And their activities extend into schools too. Schools, for example, can request a catwalk show or a talk by one of the role models. One of them, Ida Aglen, is a PhD student in marine technology, and she's visiting this secondary school today.
For me, it was a kind of coincidence that I got to know of my career or my future work, and now I think it's really important that they know what kind of choices they have.
She gives us an impression, or me an impression, that you can do everything as long as you want to do it.
These young women have exciting and challenging careers ahead of them, especially if they enter the fields of science and technology.
Well, girls' ambitions are not related only to themselves as individuals. They want to do something that makes a difference for the world, and it's exactly that kind of scientists and technologists that we need for the future.
Some women manage to break way beyond the boundaries of their male-dominated world. Dr. Maggie Aderen-Pocock is a top space scientist. She's passing on her knowledge and experience to a new generation of stargazers. We caught up with her in London.
Please we welcome Dr. Maggie Aderen-Pocock.
Because dreams are incredibly powerful things. And I know, because as a child I had a dream, and I still have that dream.
Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to be a space scientist. I think it was, I watched cartoons about space, and I heard about people like Yuri Gagarin and Neil Armstrong, and that just gave me a desire to get out there one day.
If you grab those opportunities and have a dream and aspire to things, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. I've been amazed at what I can achieve, but you can do it too. So...
And I think when I first told people I wanted to be a space scientist, as a sort of black dyslexic girl, people sort of looked at me a bit strangely. But of the three of those, I think the biggest challenge was the dyslexia.
Why do we want to build these huge telescopes? Well, a telescope is effectively a light-gathering bucket. Now, little Maggie, dyslexic kid from London, I grew up in Camden and went to school in Highgate. I would never believe I could have gone to Buckingham Palace and met the Queen. And so the Queen said, the first thing she said to me, she said, "Sam, what do you do?" That's the Queen's accent. And I said, "I'm a space scientist." And the Queen said, "Yeah."
I think many girls are put off science and technology careers, and I think mainly because they see them as very boy-orientated, and they don't see themselves, you know, if they're young and glamorous, they don't see themselves fitting into that sort of area. So I think we need to encourage them. There is an image of a sort of scientist, a sort of slightly fuddy-duddy and sort of grey.
That's what people expect to see, the mad scientist. Which one of these two people do you think is the scientist? Now, most of the younger kids will automatically go for my husband, because he fits more into that image. You know, he's white, he's male, they think he's the scientist.
I'm going through a time of change at the moment because of my daughter, but it's trying to work out how I combine my science communication, my space science, and also time with my daughter together, and that's quite a challenge.
Why do we fight here on Earth? We fight over religion, we fight over race, we fight over land, we fight over oil. We fight so much. But in the scheme of things, the universe is so vast. It's like ants squabbling over a leaf. So my motto is, make spaceships, not war. You know it makes sense. So thank you very much for listening.
That's it for now from the Learning World team. We will be back next week with different stories from the world of education. And remember, you can watch all of our episodes on our website.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.